So, you're looking for a new job. That means for the next couple of weeks, for better or for worse, you are going to be a part time salesman. You are the product, and your mission is to get a hiring manager to sign on the line which is dotted. And you're not just a salesman in the sense that you're going to have to get people hyped about hiring you, but also in the tooling you're going to need, the boring, well rehearsed scripts you're going to need to recite, and the scheduling phone tag hell that you're going to need to slog through. I'm here to show you what that setup looks like to make this an anxiety free experience and give you the options you deserve as a capable programmer. Note that I didn't say stress-free, I just said anxiety-free. This pipeline is going to set you up so that you're overflowing with opportunities, but in a manageable way. It might be stressful to deal with it, but you're going to be able to juggle dozens of jobs without forgetting where you're at in the process with each one. Okay, to kick things off here, let's start our Trello board and show you how the layout looks. So we'll call it Job Hunt 2 because I already have one called Job Hunt, which was used for the job that I just got. And at the end, I'll show you what that looks like. But for now, I'll show you how to make one. First column is pre-chat. We'll add another one. Pre-phone screen. Pre-onsite. And then pre-offer. Offers, and dead. I think that's all of them. Yep, that's all I've got on my other one. So you'll notice I'm calling these like each stage is pre something like that. It seems a little counterintuitive at first, but this is actually what you want. So if you're at the chat stage, the very first part of getting the job, where a hiring manager or a recruiter or somebody calls you and just kind of gives you a rundown of what the job is, you don't know if it's in this column called just chat, if it were, you wouldn't know if you had done it or if you need to schedule it or where you're at. So let's just call all of them pre and then whatever the stage is, and you know that it needs to advance to the next one. So first things first, let's go over what the stages in the hiring process are. The chat is the first step. If you get something from LinkedIn, like somebody reaches out and says, are you interested in this job? At that point in time, you can put a card into the pre-chat column. The chat is just a 30-minute call to say, were you blatantly lying on your resume? Are you a real human being? Are you actually looking for a job? Just to, very, very basic screen. Essentially, nobody gets eliminated from this one unless you've completely ruined it in that phone call. So the next one is phone screen. This is going to be a 1-hour tech screen. They'll ask you a technical problem and they'll have like a 15-minute repeat of the initial chat, which is just a very basic screen. See you're actually interested in the job and actually a programmer. The on-site is, half day or full day loop, like 4 to 5 interviews. And you should, if you've done an interview, this should all look familiar. It's basically the same for everybody. The pre-offer means you've done the on-site and you're just waiting for an offer, and there may be some negotiation that goes on there. The offers, this is your list of offers, obviously, and then dead, if for whatever reason an opportunity goes away, then just put it into there. You can't really delete these cards, but you need some place to put them if they're no longer active, so you're not looking at them over and over again. So step 0 is generating leads. If you're a developer already, you're probably getting hit up all the time, and that's cool, but we really want to turn it up to 11 here. So get on LinkedIn, turn your profile to actively looking, and drop a couple jobs that you're looking for on there. Don't stop there, though. You've got a bunch of other websites, hired.com, vettery.com, triplebyte.com. I'm not being paid by them, although I probably should be. They're good sites. You'll probably get leads from them, and that's all I can say. There's probably more also. Go find them, add them. It sucks to fill out these forms over and over again, but if you think about it, it's probably only going to be like an hour of time for what will turn into, thousands of hours of your time when you're working at whatever company this is. So it's probably worth it to make sure you get a good one. At this point, you should basically be turning down none of these jobs. Even if it seems really lame or there's something wrong with it, it couldn't hurt to just check out what it is. I've had some that seem like it's just the lamest job on the planet, and then when I get the description at the chat, it seems like a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be, and I actually followed through with it. So don't exclude anything at this point in time. You probably have had some companies that you'd love to work for also, and you just don't know how to get in contact with them. Foolproof way to get in contact with them is easier than you think. Just get on LinkedIn, search for that company name and recruiter, and just reach out. Say, hey, I'm looking for a job. Post a link of a requisition for a job that you'd be interested in. They are incentivized to help you out here. If they can tag their name to a potential candidate, they get partial credit for it. It at least makes them look good. So don't be afraid. Just reach out. I don't know, maybe they'll put you in touch with somebody. If they don't, just keep going down the list. They've got a lot of recruiters. They can probably make it happen for you. So when you do make a connection, put this into the pre-chat column and put down any details you have about the opportunity. So let's say Google reached out to me and said, hey, we're interested in having you on site. Just add this to it. And in the description, put down any salient details about it. One thing I always like to put down is the contact who initially reached out. So we'll just say foo@bar.com. Maybe this is for a front end position, working on the maps team, something like that. Just save that, and there you go. For the next part, the phone screen, I talked about that a little bit before. You're going to be doing a lot of these, and so you're going to want to put together like a little spiel for the phone screen just to make sure it goes smoothly. And even though it's difficult to get screened out, sometimes it does happen. There are some standard questions they'll ask you. One is, why are you leaving your job that you're at right now? And there are some acceptable reasons for that, and there are some unacceptable reasons. The unacceptable reasons are things like, they make me work too hard, my boss sucks, I don't know, things like that. You want to keep the list of reasons why you're switching to something positive. So that can be something like, I'm looking for more responsibility. If you're switching industries, you can say, I want to be in the industry that you're in. I don't like the one that I'm in. Maybe it's company size. I want a bigger company or a smaller company, something like that. Just keep it positive. And you should practice this thing once or twice. Like, have a friend ask you, why are you switching? What are you working on right now? A couple of those basic questions. And you should have some spiel whipped up that, you give them the reason you're switching, and then you tell them about why your project that you're working on right now is so cool, why it's so valuable. Hopefully there's some alignment with what they're looking for, but if not, that's probably fine too. Just be honest and, get them hyped about what you're working on. So once you have this chat, then you can move your pre-chat into the next column. We can just put down this activity also, like had initial chat at or on Monday, January 8th or 3rd or whatever. Hit save, and you can drag it into the next column. Boom. So now that you're in phone screen, you can imagine this is kind of exactly what you do for every single column. We talked about the phone screen already. There's a lot of resources out there, YouTube videos to help you pass phone screens and on-site. I am not going to try to do that in this one. This is just about the process, but definitely go check out other videos. Definitely go check out leetcode.com. That's another one. Grind on those questions. You really can't do it enough, and that is the bread and butter of interviewing. Just do a bunch of LeetCode, and you will improve your chances of getting a job. So the pre-phone screen, let's say you have the phone screen, just had the phone screen, seemed like it went well. Close that. now you're pre-on-site, and every time you talk to them, every time you email them. So I'm just indicating like the big markers on here, but like let's say this could be other things too, like set up on site, or like had phone call to set up on site, but they ghosted me. And then, I don't know, planning on calling back later. This activity list should be everything that's going on, not just the major indicators or major events, but everything that happens, every touch point you have with your recruiter or anybody, put it on the activity list. So then when you're on the phone with them again, you're going to have 20 jobs you're interviewing for, and you're going to pull up their card and you're going to read through this list and say, oh yeah, this is what's happened up to this point. This is what makes it easy to juggle so many of them, is to have this history pulled up. Remember to set aside some time at lunch each day so that you can go through your list and follow up with all your cards. You're going to have a bunch of them in various columns. You just want to go through each one, see where you're at, if you've scheduled something, if you need to schedule something, if there is something on the calendar, like verify that it actually got onto the calendar. Also, when you start having on-sites and offers, be sure to tell everybody else that you're actually interested in, please hurry it up. Let's get this going. I'd like to see an offer from you as well if, it comes to that, but they'll typically expedite things for you. This last thing is not only a nice thing to do, but, I actually consider it a requirement. When you accept an offer, go through your whole board and click on every single one of them and hit that recruiter back up and say, I've accepted another position. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to working with you next time on the market. I'll be sure to reach out. For the same reason as before, it's a nice thing to do. And, when you're looking for a job next time, you can come back to this board and hit up every single one of these people, and they'll remember that person who didn't ghost them, who was transparent, and, maybe they'll fast track you to the front of the line next time. So now that you've seen the demo board and what the process could look like, here's an actual copy of what mine really looked like in this last job search. So you can see there's a ton of stuff on here. It's a lot of jobs, and there's no way I would have been able to handle all of this in my mind just by myself. But with the Trello board and the history on each one of these, it makes it a lot easier. And one more practical tip on taking these calls, the recruiters are working 9 to 5, you're working 9 to 5, you're going to be getting these calls in the middle of the day, and your first instinct is going to be to duck in a room or go outside or something like that to take the call. And it's a good strategy. You don't want to openly be talking about ditching your current company, like right in front of your boss, but make sure you bring your laptop with you and make sure you're within the Wi-Fi range. The recruiter is going to ask you to schedule your phone screen or whatever's next, and you're going to need your calendar ready. And you really don't want to be double booking these things on top of each other, or you don't want to be double booking it on top of your real job and have to skip out on one of them. You're also going to want to take notes. So what team is this, or what kind of project are they about to IPO? Just notable things like that. And you might tell yourself that you're going to do it on paper. You're not going to. And it's impossible to look at the calendar on your phone while you're talking on your phone. So remember to bring your laptop.